Welcome to the AI Bots podcast. I'm Dan Clark, and with me is my co-host Chazzy. How's things?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
So it's our first episode.
Yes, first episode.
Quite exciting, isn't it? A bit scary.
Yeah, nervous.
Exactly.
Very nervous.
We've already tried 3 or 4 times to get through this first bit, and
yes, mate.
yeah. So we hope you don't mind out there that we're just going to sort of go for it and see how it goes.
Yeah, smash it out.
Exactly.
That's it.
Knock it out of the park.
Yes, mate.
Sadly, it's Romford Park, but
So, do you want to start with what you've been playing then? Yeah.
yeah, defo.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to kick things off.
Think so.
Mass Effect 3. It's the big game this
It's
week.
the game to have.
It's the game that everyone on my Xbox list is playing. So I'm loving it. Had a bit of a nightmare at the beginning. Like picked it up. Went to an actual shop to buy it.
Wow.
Can you believe that? You know, didn't get it online cheap. Didn't. I found it was in a cave.
Yep.
Hidden away somewhere. I had to go through a jungle, hack my way with a machete all the way through to get to it.
What are you buying, stranger?
Exactly. So, what?
Mass Effect
Hold
3.
on, 3, 2, 1.
Don't stop that, stranger. Oh, all right. I'll go to
Exactly.
HMV or Tesco then.
Exactly. So, yes, I bought it in the shop. Really excited. Friday night.
Yep.
Yeah, on the way home, read the flimsy 2-page manual on the way, on the train home.
Yep.
And then got indoors, hurriedly rushed it into my Xbox, put it in my Xbox. Yeah, this is going to be great. Can't wait. Been waiting for this for like a couple of years. All good. Installed it. That was a bit too long, but yeah, I'm really excited. Can't wait. It's going to be brilliant. And then went to import all my data from Mass Effect 2.
Yep.
And it told me, sorry, can't import your face data because...
Because you saved it
Exactly.
over from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2 and didn't change it.
Yep, I customised my face in Mass Effect 1.
Yep.
It picked it up in Mass Effect 2, no problem. Mass Effect 3, though, oh no, can't use that. That's awful. That's outdated data. Can't possibly use that. I was gutted. I was like, well, I'm really invested in my Shepard. That's how Shepard looks. He doesn't. I tried. I thought, right, I know. Right, okay, fine. Get over it. Just use a default Shepard.
Imagine how hard Cerberus Network worked to remake his face for Mass Effect 2, right? You have to
Exactly.
be that now. See, they've added an extra meta game.
Exactly, but no, it was. I was devastated. I tried to use the default Shepard,
Yeah.
and it was like watching, like, someone else play, like, be my character, and it was really weird. It was like the same person's voice coming out of a completely different person, and it wasn't my Shepard, and it just totally took me out of the experience. I was like, no, that's it. Deleted the save files.
What,
I'm
so
gonna
you
wait for a
couldn't
patch.
make your own save? Or your own face that looked like your
Well,
old face?
this is the thing. Is I didn't know what the old face looked like without going back to Mass Effect 2, and then I would have had to have taken a picture with my.
Oh, that's how
camera
invested in Shepard you are, is it?
Oh yeah, totally.
I
would
don't
have
know
had to
what he
have
looks
taken-
like. I'm so invested, I don't know what
Oh,
he looks
all right, yeah, all right. Fair enough. I don't know what he looks like in as much as I want his eyes exactly the right width, and I want his mouth exactly the right thinness, and I want his eyes exactly the right colour.
I bet you're such
You know,
a
I
casual
can't-
gamer that when you look in the mirror, you see your own face and not Shepard's.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly how I am. But like, no. So yeah, I ended up finding a workaround, and apparently, if you go onto the Mass Effect in Mass Effect 2,
Yep.
if you go to when you bring down the radial menu for your squad,
Uh-huh.
above the name Shepard is a code, and that code is actually the face data. If you write that down
Yep.
and go into Mass Effect 3, there's a bit at the bottom of where you make your face, and you can type that code in, and it gives you a rough approximation in the new engine of what your old Shepard's face is.
And is it good enough for you?
And like with a couple of little tweaks and I took a picture on my iPhone and then sort of matched the two up
Yeah.
and got it pretty much bang on. And I was like, oh, brilliant, I'm in. Nice one. Saved it at the last. So I've got in and I've played a good couple of hours of it now.
Yeah.
And wow, it is, when you talk about, yes, this is, people talk about, this is a AAA game, this is a blockbuster game.
It's a quadruple A game, really, isn't it? From the amount of
they're talking about if it was in the dictionary, it'd have a picture of Mass Effect 3 next to it, next to blockbuster game. This game really does have all the polish and the finish and the camera angles and the lens flares and the glow. It just has everything.
Yep.
It really is absolutely gorgeous, and I've really, really, really been enjoying it. Like the first couple of hours in. And it's always the same with me. The first 2 hours in of any Mass Effect game I've ever played, it's just been... I sit down and go, oh, I don't like this, and oh, this doesn't feel right, and oh, that doesn't feel right, and the character seems too big, and oh, is he a little bit stiff? Oh, and then I kind of sit down, and once I'm 2 hours in, I'm like, no, you're totally wrong.
The same happened with me with Mass Effect 2, so I do understand what you mean. And with Mass Effect 1, it got to the point where I thought that was going to happen, and I've gone back to it, and it's like, no, I have to give up on it. That's too much. But Mass Effect 2, exactly the same. I hated it for the first 4 hours. And then I've gone back, and it's like this massive universe calling to you, saying, go on, come in. Like, we're here.
It's weird. It's like this first 2 hours of kind of, not hating it, but just kind of going, oh, this doesn't feel right. And then all of a sudden, it all starts coming back, and you think, oh, they've made this change, and that change is like, made this bit so, the controls, they're just so much more tighter, and they feel better now, but I'm not used to it because it's been 2 years, and yeah, it's blown me away, really, and it's kind of like, once I've got over that initial hump of, oh, I don't really remember too much about how the controls worked, and I've totally forgot to use the radial menus, and lifting people in the air and throwing them about. But then 2 hours in, it all came flooding back to me, and I was like, oh, it's like slipping into an old comfy set of slippers, you know? It was wicked, man. It was really, really, really good, and I'm really looking forward to it now, like getting really into it and just losing myself in it. So, yeah, can't speak highly enough of that game.
And we did say we wanted the AI bots to be about slipper gaming. Do you know what I mean? Like, gaming for old men, clergy friends.
Piping slipper gaming.
Dominoes, bridge. We're going to have that all in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, so with Mass Effect 3, I've been thinking I'm going to do the Ultimate Renegade playthrough. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to save the Earth. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally. Just forget about it.
Achievement ununlocked.
So are you not interested in it any way, shape, or form?
I am. I haven't finished Mass Effect 2. Again, it's a huge game, and I'm a bit of a sort of completionist. It's like I want to see every bit of that universe before I move on to the third one.
Oh, right, okay. So you're really OCD, checking every nook and cranny.
That's the one.
And...
Like, I used to do that with old JRPGs, where you like search every corner of a cave in case there's like a potion, because that might save you 30 gold later on.
I've got 1 million potions in my bag, and I've used 2 in the entire game.
Yeah, exactly. But but it's now gone down to like 999,997. So.
Oh, so I've got to search out for another 3. Excellent.
And then even when you've got to 1 million, I still don't stop looking for them, so that I know that if I lose that one, I can go back to here and get it.
Superb.
So yeah, Mass Effect 2 is taking me for absolute ever, and I didn't really like the demo for Mass Effect 3. To me, it felt like. Have you played Matt Hazard?
No, I've not.
I'm guessing you know about it. It was meant to be a sort of parody game. It's pretty
sort
bad.
Of taking the piss out of all the conventions in
but
other
then
games.
does them and does worse than those games do as well.
And sort of points at it and goes, look at this thing. It's really stupid. And then we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not cool.
I completely get that. But then there's this sci-fi levels in it. And Mass Effect 3 demo just reminded me of that. I don't know if it was partly the frame rate and like maybe in a demo it's going to be slightly worse than the full game. But there was something about it that just reminded me of Matt Hazard. So I think I'm going to hold off until it's maybe updated a bit and I'll finish Mass Effect 2, so I've got a Shepherd to carry over.
Okay, cool. So what else have you been playing then, Matt?
I've been playing... I don't know if you've seen people talking about this on Twitter. It's either going to be the bane of my life or the best game I've ever played. Draw Something on the iPhone, iPod Touch. It's Pictionary on the iOS devices.
Okay.
And it's cooperative. I don't know if Pictionary is like that. I haven't played it in so long. But
well, yeah, you sort of Pictionary. Whenever I see it in my head, it's you sit down with your aunts and uncles at Christmas, and you get the Pictionary out, and everyone has a pad, and they draw it, and it's all very like co-op, and just board games in it. So you sit around and
But
you
looking
get
at the
pissed
forum,
and play Pictionary.
like because there's a help screen, in the game, and it takes you to the forums, and it looks like everyone's like, why isn't this multiplayer? And it's like, well, of course, because otherwise you'd draw the wrong thing, wouldn't you? And get them to guess wrong. But,
well, I was going to say to you, is it like, so would it have an asynchronous play? So you draw something and then it goes to someone else and they have to work it out over a certain time limit and then keep sending you back?
There's no time limit. There's no time limit, but it records every stroke of your drawing while you're drawing it and then plays it back to them in real time. Yeah. So you can kind of almost animate things if you want, or like provide further clues as time goes on.
Draw a massive penis getting slightly more erect.
Exactly, yeah.
Over time.
I'm sure there'll be, a dozen 6-year-olds, well, thousands of 6-year-olds doing that within a couple of weeks. But
I'm a 6-year-old. Yeah.
But until then, like, you can do some really clever stuff. Like, I had MC Hammer as one to draw for someone the other day.
Doing a hammer dance?
Exactly. I did baggy pants and a hammer dance, but it's quite difficult on an iPod Touch or an iPhone screen.
Superb.
But then I thought, what if they don't get it? So you can like trash the whole drawing, but they see that you've trashed it, so everything up to that point, and then they see the new drawing starting as well. So after that, I did I wrote touching, and then did the like no smoking sign thing around it, the like red circle with a red line through it, and they didn't get it up until that point. And then like as soon as the line went through the touching, it went and it shows you as the person who drew it when they guess it. So excellent. As soon as that went up, she was like, MC Hammer. And it was like, yeah, sweet, man.
Hey! Yeah. Nice one.
The only dodgy thing is when you get like Japan or France, it's like, what can you do other than racial stereotypes?
Just don't mention the war. Yeah, exactly.
There's a few kids playing it that just they write the answer because you get coins for everyone you answer correct between you.
Oh, right, okay. So you've got your not griefers, but like people who kind of try and boost their way through the game.
But it's literally the most pointless game to boost in. But in the past 5 days, they've put out an update that you can delete games where people are doing that. So give it a go. There's a free version.
That sounds wicked.
And like I say, everyone's going a bit crazy on it. So
bit bonkers for it.
Yeah. So what else you been playing, man?
Well, I've been playing Uncharted 3 as well. Got up to about Chapter 9 now.
Out of how many, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I've checked the FAQ, because I do that, because I'm one of those
I hope you only scanned it.
I only look to see how many chapters there are, don't you worry. And, basically, it looks like it's 22 chapters. So, not quite halfway, but close enough. That's a lovely game. It really is good. I'm having a few issues with it.
Yep.
But overall, really, really enjoying it. It's quite funny because I've been playing it with my girlfriend on the sofa next to me, and she's been like pointing out all these little things that I don't notice because I'm like there intently staring at it. And what she's been doing is like I'll like sort of run along and I'll jump off a ledge and I'll grab onto something on the wall and that'll break, and then I'll jump from that onto another ledge that then bent like a big pole, and then that big pole will bend and swing me around a corner. And she turned to me and went, "Why is this bloke so clumsy? all he ever does is just run and jump from one thing that breaks to another thing that breaks, and then he bumps off something, and then he rolls over and he falls over." And I was just sort of sat there dumbstruck, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's nothing I can say. It's just what he does. It makes it more exciting for me to play, I suppose. As
an experiment, I'm going to watch some Uncharted videos with the Benny Hill music as an experiment to see if it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because it's just weird because obviously, because what I'm finding is that I don't know, they've added more animation into his movement, which makes it really lovely and fluid and looks really nice. But it seems to take an age from my input. I mean, I've updated it to the patch.
Yeah.
Because, they had that whole issue of, the controls feel weird and floaty, and there was a big hoo-ha, and then they ended up patching it, and then you can go in and switch it on. So I've done all that, but the animation still feels like kind of like you go to turn, and he takes... like there's a bit of a lag between me moving the stick and him turning, or he turns and he takes forever to do the movement when I'm, and the other thing as well is I've come off the back of playing Assassin's Creed Revelations, where he's really snappy to turn and jump and move and, you know, flick left to right.
Yeah.
And then you go to Uncharted, and it's kind of like he's really, really kind of, it's like turning. Sometimes it's like turning a tugboat, and he's running around in a circle as opposed to just turning on a dime.
Yeah.
So that's throwing me out a little bit, and it's really taken me 9 chapters really to kind of get back into the flow of how that works again.
And also, like, more animation sounds like a sort of feature that marketing had in, doesn't it? Like,
oh yeah,
more
totally.
graphics,
oh
more
yeah,
animation, more gameplay.
Oh, it looks amazing. I won't say it doesn't, because it looks absolutely amazing. But
I
like,
don't understand. But sometimes you don't need more animation. You just need tighter controls.
yeah, the controls just need. Yeah, it's weird. You just need to. If they dialed it back slightly, it'd probably still look just as great. But you know, for someone standing over your shoulder watching it, it looks brilliant. But you know, for me moving it, it just doesn't feel quite right. But other than that, the story's amazing, and I won't spoil it for you because I know you haven't played it. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it, and I love my story games anyway. So getting into that story and really kind of seeing all the kind of ups and downs of it is just like, special. Really
I've never
special.
played any of them. It's Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones meets Tomb Raider meets kind of Han Solo.
Can you tell me one thing? I don't know if you'll know this without going into the options on the game, but what I find with a lot of third-person action-based games produced in the West is that, for me, I like to have inverted controls on the right stick camera. Right, so I think I'm turning the camera. So if I move the stick right, I want the camera to turn right, not the view to turn right.
Okay, so you're one of those weird people.
No, it's not, because you're like, that's the camera stick from the old days.
I know what you mean.
Old PS2, PS1 days. Do you remember when that was the camera stick and that's how you moved it?
Yeah.
And my brain just sort of thinks like the.
Well, now what happens is you
PS1
kind of the second camera stick does
is your head.
You move. It sort of gives you a bit of movement as well. So it's a like kind of a little bit of extra movement. So you can go forward with one stick and turn with the left stick.
I do the same, but with the other way round. Same as I used to with like Gex or like Super Mario 64. Like, they're the early 3D games, and they controlled with you moving the camera. Right? Like, do you know what I mean? They're the ones that I sort of trained on in 3D gaming. And that's no problem. I don't mind switching the other way. But if you're going to let me change how that right stick camera movement works, when I go to aim with the left trigger, don't keep it the same. Make it like first person, because there's no one that would want to have crosshairs and have them go the wrong way. I know that's in the character's head. Do you know what I mean? But don't make...
Mate, you're really passionate about this, aren't you?
I am, yeah. It drives me nuts. I've had arguments with a few people on Twitter about it. But so many games have done it right, including Metal Gear Solid, I think even 2, but 3 definitely gets it right. It gives you the option for both. It's like, if games have been doing it that long and got it right, why can't every game just give the option for you to change how both work?
I'll be honest with you, mate. It's never, ever bothered me. I don't care.
Oh,
just don't care. Don't give a monkeys. Look at me over here. I've got my feet up.
Oh, look at me with my...
Your lofty expectations.
Not really. Like I say, if Gex 3D could do it right, Mass Effect could do it right.
Alright, fair enough.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But
fair enough. I'm walking away from the conversation.
Yeah, sorry, it's just something. Yeah, I am passionate about it because it's.
It's weird, isn't it? There's funny little things that you get passionate about. Yeah, like me with my face in Mass Effect. Like, you know, I'm passionate about it. I literally wouldn't play the game until they'd patched his face back in.
Yeah.
And like with you, it's like, right, if it doesn't have the camera controls, I'm not playing this, no matter what.
It's not that I won't play it. I literally have to fight against the game.
But if you try to explain that to anyone else in the high street, they just look at you like, you're mental.
Possibly, if you tried to explain to them that, no, literally, you're Shepard and you have to save the Earth, they'd look at you as if you're mental, so...
Yeah, that's a fair point, Yeah, but I'm a bloke and I've got to save the whole universe. Yeah, right, mate. Anyway, I'm just going to go and phone for an ambulance.
No, but the Reapers are coming!
But they're coming! Yeah, backing away slowly.
I hear you've been playing something that I got recently, El Shaddai.
Yes, mate. I rented El Shaddai because I've been in a bit of a what's the way to put it? I've been trying to broaden my horizons.
Yeah.
Hello, I've been trying to broaden my horizons, young man.
Oh, I've only got Mass Effect and Uncharted 3 to play.
Yeah. Oh, I've just been playing really super shit hot, top of the line AAA games.
I need to play something rubbish.
Well, you would say that, but unfortunately, El Shaddai, I put it in, and within the first 30 seconds, my jaw hit the floor.
It's far from rubbish, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah, man, it's unreal. Like, it just made me go, wow. And I haven't been like that in so long. Because, you get a bit jaded, and I've put Mass Effect 3 in, the graphics look like the best thing in the world, whatever. Put this Uncharted in, it looks all special, and the water physics, and
Look
whatever.
at the realisms.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so I'm totally freely admit I'm incredibly jaded when it comes to that kind of thing. But fucking El Shaddai looks amazing. Like the actual art style, that kind of. See, the thing is, I'm kind of from a graphic design background. That's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
And when you see stuff like this, where it's really stark, contrasty colours, really kind of, sort of almost cel shaded in parts, it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then it just started doing things like, I don't know how far I can really say without spoiling it, but it was doing all these kind of weird. I'm just going to spoil it because, if you're going to play it or you're not, and if you haven't played it by now. Sodger.
It's been £3, £4 in some places for a long time.
Yeah, totally.
If you haven't got it, then
exactly. So in the first hour, I've had a loading screen where during the loading screen I'm playing a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And that was just like, wow. I mean, obviously you get the loading screens in FIFA. You can play the football match, but I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to be able.
FIFA's the only one that you can do that in. That's.
Yeah. To a degree. I mean, loading. There are games that have done from back in the Spectrum days that have done kind of loading screens that you can play. I think wasn't it Taito that used to do that? I could be wrong.
Namco
anyway,
used to do it.
Namco, there you go. So and that always blows me away anyway. But to be playing this, what is essentially a 3D action over the shoulder beat 'em up.
Yeah.
But then it switches things up with you've only got 3 weapons, but each weapon has its own tactics. And what I've found is that you actually have to switch.
It's like paper, scissors, stone, isn't it?
Yeah, totally paper, scissors, stone. So you have a guy who comes in and he's got the same weapon as you, but then you've got another guy who's got a long range weapon. So what you have to do is kind of take the guy out with a long range weapon, take his weapon, and then start firing at the guy with the short range weapon that was the same as you, and start taking him down with the long range weapon to keep him at a distance.
It's like diffusing the situation in a fight in from the town centre, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Hey, you calm down because you know that he's the one that's going to hit you and he can hurt you more. You
get this weird tactics where you've probably only got. It really seems quite sparse because you've only got 3 guys to fight in it, or 4 guys to fight in it in a fight. But you've got to pick, right, well, I've got to go for him first and then chain from him to him and then from this guy to this guy and take his weapon. And it just makes it really each encounter a really, really deep experience. Yeah. So I was blown away by that. And then
I love it when it goes to the 2D platformer bits.
Well, this is what I was going to say, yeah. Randomly, all of a sudden, you load the next level, and it's a Mario-style 2D platformer.
Including, the, what are they called? The children of the angels and the humans. They look like Mario characters from, Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, these kind of massive, wobbly, wavy tube men. It's just where the fuck did this come from? Jeez. And then, and you're playing it, and the guy who's helping you through the missions is Lucifer, but not the devil.
Yeah, it's from before he went bad.
From before he went bad. Yeah. And it's and he's on the phone and he's all casual, talking to God on his mobile. Hello, mate, how you doing? Yeah, he's doing all right. And it's just this is brilliant. This is absolutely wicked.
The weird thing is, the guy that made it, I can't remember what other, he's a producer of games, and it's his little passion project. But at what point does someone get to their point in their career and they're like, I know what I need to make: a prequel to the Bible.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to make a
prequel to
game.
Christianity.
Prequel.
When the devil's not evil anymore, he's helped God
I'm
out.
going to make a prequel to the Bible. It's going to be a beat 'em up, and randomly have Mario platforming levels.
Yeah, it's like Golden Axe meets Mario.
Brilliant,
but religious.
nice.
Yeah. We'll do that. That's fine.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I've actually been totally blown away by it, and it's. I mean, the only thing with it is obviously I'm broadening my horizons, and so this is a Japanese game. I mean, let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
It's incredibly Japanese, and let's not say I'm not used to it, but you know,
it is unabashedly Japanese. It's
yeah, and there's a lot of conventions in it that have kind of twisted my brain up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been brilliant, and I mean, I'll be honest with you, I rented it from Love Film.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed it, but it got to the stage where the levels were getting too long. I'll be honest, I started it on normal, and I kind of regret that because it just seems to be a really, really hard slog through each encounter. And at the start, I really ummed and ahed on, should I just play this on easy to just smash through the story?
See, I've seen people play it on easy, and that's why I went with easy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's one of those games where it's so much better playing it on easy. And I'd played it on normal, and I got so far, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to send this back now. Not because I don't like the game. It's just that it's just too much of it. It's Japanese. It's a grind, and
it's not really a grind, though, is it? There's no sort of real point to the leveling, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm collecting orbs, and I don't know why I'm collecting them. And kind of, I mean, I've probably missed something massive, and I'm supposed to have spent them somewhere. But I just found it to be great. One level was taking me a couple of hours, and it was just like, God damn it! I'm only to level 5.
There is the long corridor running as well, which
long corridors with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they say about Final Fantasy 13, it's just a series of corridors. That's what it seemed like to me for long stretches of it. And I just thought, you know what? I've rented this game. I've got what I wanted out of it, which is a really, really lovely experience and some absolutely mind-blowing stuff. But I just don't have the stomach to kind of sit through all of it.
Yeah, that's
which is a shame. And I can see probably why some people go, no, this is amazing. I'm going to smash through it right to the end, and this is capturing me. But for me, it just did. It was just too much of a grind. But it was just such a shame.
The thing that really got me about it was when you don't know if there's a hole in the floor or not. That's probably the design decision that I don't get most about that game. It's like you'd be running up a corridor and then suddenly there's a hole, but it looks like a reflection of what's above. So it's like, is that a puddle of water? No, it's a hole.
But that's just a kind of that's just from the art style, and I think you can sort of forgive it that because the art style is so out there and amazing that kind of. The odd fault. I mean, you don't really get penalised. Oh, that was the other thing about when you get penalised, when you die or you get knocked down, instead of just killing you, it gives you the opportunity to mash the button as hard as you can.
Yeah.
As your eyes are closing.
Yeah, it's not even the opportunity to because you have to do that really. Otherwise, it's going to start you at your last save point.
And if you can mash that button quick enough, bang, you're back in the game again, and you're back to health, and you haven't got as much armour and stuff. But I just thought that's an amazing mechanic. That's just in a boss fight, I've managed to kind of extend the boss fight out and kill the guy because I've got him down to a sliver of health and he's taken me out. Oh, tap, I'm back in the room. Yeah, take him out now.
It's like the old Kojima uses it once a game, but they've turned it into a regular mechanic. There's always this button mashing bit in a Metal Gear Solid game.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, it's sort of life or death importance as to if you can hit the button enough times. And it's like, to make that an important part of the game, I enjoyed that.
I'll tell you what, I've got this question to ask you, because it came up when I was playing Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
QTEs to, God of War style QTEs, where you're lifting a heavy thing, so you've got to mash on the triangle button to make it go up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about those? Do you feel that they're immersing you into a game, or are they just a fucking frustration?
They take me out of the game, I think, more than anything else. Yeah. I don't find that immersive, especially when what you're doing in your hand isn't the same as what's happening on the screen.
Yeah, because that's the thing with me is, I mean, obviously you can probably tell from when I was asking you the question, but I found in Uncharted that I'm having to do this. Oh, I'm squeezing through a tight gap. Tap the button. Oh, it's a struggle for me to tap the button. Oh, we're going through we're through. You know, it's like, can we do without that every 20 minutes, please? You know,
and to be fair, God of War, your original one, does it quite well. Like where you're twisting off the head by turning right stick, or the movements at least relate, a bit like Heavy Rain or Fahrenheit. But when games is just tap the button to do this, that's not related to the real world event.
Yeah, see, Heavy Rain, I mean, I've not played Heavy Rain, but Heavy Rain seems to make sense that you're doing movements and it kind of all ties into an overall story narrative type thing. You know, that I can see as a stylistic choice. And that's
because in real life, you have to press the X button to call your son over, don't you? Jason, yeah.
But I can see that as a stylistic choice, and that's the mechanic of the game. That's not like when it's a game that has a completely different mechanic and then these are just dropped in, that really, really throws me off and drags me out of the experience. I know it's supposed to get me into it and make me feel like I'm part of the struggling to get this door open, but it just really gets to be an annoyance.
And when it is a boss battle where you have to, say, twist off the head, why isn't that move just built into the in-game engine?
Yeah,
that
or
you can jump up on the shoulder and then like roll your finger round, your thumb round the stick to rip the head. Why isn't that part of the game rather than, oh, a cutscene, we better let them do something, otherwise they're going to get bored. Let's have them do a similar movement.
Yeah, well...
By this point, they must be able to make the interaction better with the end user, that ripping the head off can feel like part of the game rather than part of the cutscene.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do with the QTEs, but it's just kind of like there is going to be no way of making it really feel, you know. I think over in the next generation, I think inputs will become a lot more finessed to that kind of thing. But at the moment, just mashing a button seems a little bit primitive, you know.
Yeah. Especially after sort of 12 years of it with like Shenmue, it's like, yeah, we've done that.
No, exactly. Right. So, have you got anything else, mate, or is that it?
Yeah, I've been playing something that relates weirdly to El Shaddai, in that a lot of people say El Shaddai is a spiritual sequel, and also to QTEs. It's Nier. Okay. It's one of I think it's my game of the generation.
Oh, blimey, that's big words.
It is a big phrase, big 4 words. But yeah, I'll talk about it more next week, because I think it might relate to one of the topics we're going to be discussing. But I will say that it deals with QTEs differently. And if you like the style of El Shaddai, you really need to try this game.
Okay.
It's did you like the music in El Shaddai?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, it was really quite evocative.
Yeah. Like it's got that kind of soundtrack where it really seems to fit with what's going on screen design wise. But leagues and leagues better. You need to play it, man.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to wait to talk about it until you've at least played a little bit of it.
Okay.
But I've gone back to it because it's got 4 endings, A, B, C, and D. I've done A, B, and C. To do D, I don't want to finish it without doing all the side quests. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And if I can do that this week, or once you've tried it, then I'd love to come back to this game as a proper topic.
Okay. Well, maybe if I pop down to my local game and see it in the old fire sale for £2, I'll...
Exactly. I heard Alex from Gonzo Planet got that for £2.98 this week, so...
Okay. So yeah, I might be able to get it for £2 then. Nice one.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'd love to talk about that as a subject sometime, because...
Oh, yeah, we'll
like I say, it's game of the generation for me, and the Marmiteness of it, the love and hate that it gets,
okay,
I think is worthy of like proper discussion. So we'll do that another day.
Okay, well maybe that's my next horizon broadening game then.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. Right. So, have you got anything else?
That's pretty much all I've been playing this week.
Cool. Should we go to a break?
Let's.
Yeah. Welcome back. We are painfully aware that you know nothing about us whatsoever, and we've just waffled on at you for probably a good half an hour about games we've been playing, and you don't even know who on earth we are. So we thought in this section we'd just give you a little bit of game history and, you know, let you get to know us a bit.
AI Bots Museum, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We're old boys. You can put us in a museum.
They'll put us in one of them video game museums, won't they?
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally. See these thumbs? He had the biggest thumbs in the world. It was from playing computer games until he was 90.
And until next week when someone else starts up, we're going to be in the newest podcasts in the world bit as well.
Exactly. In the Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gaming
If
one.
we did a book every week, that'd be alright, wouldn't it?
In that
We'd
game.
be in
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Right, so let's start. I'm going to start.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with my gaming history. 1984. Eh?
Yeah.
Back in the days. So, my dad went out and bought me, 1984, little young, sort of 5-year-old Chazzy. Went out and bought him an Atari 2600.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all wooden panels and dials.
Big consoles have veneer these days, eh?
Yeah. Hey, make a console out of wood.
If you're Microsoft and you've put veneer panelling on the Xbox 720, you've got sales from everyone over 30, I reckon.
Put an SSD in it, that's fine. You know, make it all diskless.
Yeah.
But make it out of wood. That'd be amazing.
Wood is solid state. You can make it wood.
It would be literally solid.
Yeah.
That'd be superb. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, the Atari 2600.
2600, yeah. So my dad was an absolute gadget freak.
Yeah.
And he would always go out and buy all these kind of, you know, new things. Admittedly, in 84, the 2600 wasn't new.
Yeah, it's pretty old by then, man.
Yeah. But he would always go out and buy, you know, gadgets and kit, and he was a gadget freak back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And but he always used to get it wrong. It would be like, I'm going out to get one of these video players. He wasn't even Northern. Do you know what I mean?
Was when he went shopping, though.
I'm going out. All right, lad. I'm from Basildon, but I'm going out to.
Will you give me discount on Atari 2600 because I'm Northern?
Exactly. Hold on. Let's get the right voice. Hello there, son. Yeah, that was more like it. So anyway, he'd go out and he'd go, I know what I need. I need one of these video players that everyone's going on about. Well, I'll tell you what. These Betamaxes look amazing. I'm going to have one of those. In fact, to tell you what, I'm going to have two. One upstairs, one downstairs. I'm going to put that on my telly. It's going to look fantastic. You know, he was that guy. He would buy things, and he would always... It was 50-50 choice. He'd buy the wrong one.
The guy with the DeLorean.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. The DeLoreans back on Basildon in the 80s, you're having a chuckle, aren't you?
I suppose so. You did get the kit cars, though, didn't you? People that are like, yeah, my dad's got a Testarossa kit car.
Yeah, exactly. So, so 2600 wooden panels, and, like, I had 3 games. Combat, Indiana Jones, and E.T. And I fucking had no idea how to play Indiana Jones or E.T. at 5. And... and I used to sit there and go, I don't understand it. Oh, so I'm going to play Combat. I'm going to play Tank Pong. And now, looking on like internet sites, there is a reason I didn't know how to play, especially E.T., because no one knew how to play that game.
Because it's virtually unplayable.
It was baffling. All I remember is walking from one screen to another, falling down the pit, and then making myself levitate out of the pit. Exactly.
To stretch your neck to get out of a hole, exactly like he did in the movie, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And
Just like that bit in the film.
I had no idea what was going on. You know, that was it for me. But there was something about stuff moving on the screen, having that big old joystick, that wonderful joystick in your hand.
It is an arcade stick in your hand, isn't it?
Yeah,
For the time, it's a clever control.
And that's still an amazing stick, you know? And, that was it. I was hooked. I used to sit and just play Combat, Tank Pong all day, every day.
Against your dad?
Not even against my dad, against myself.
Oh, cool. See, we used to play on a Sunday afternoon, and like the sounds of a Sunday afternoon to me were like the Antiques Roadshow music would finish, Songs of Praise music would come on, and it was like, no, we'll play Pong now. Well, Tank Pong. Like, beep, boop, beep, beep,
yeah,
beep,
that noise. Oh, God, that takes me back. That that kill noise was, it's just so spot on. It's perfect.
Wasn't it? For the time, that's like having an explosion in your front room.
Yeah, man.
There's your 3D.
Yeah, so what about you? Did you have a 2600?
We did, yeah. My mum bought one for my dad one Christmas. And I only found this out recently because I was talking about it with him. And he's like, yeah, I had to take that back to the shop 3 times to get a working one. So it's like the Red Ring of Death kind of stuff was still going on back then.
Superb. It blew up. I don't know what happened to it. I just poured a big cup of coffee into it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Excuse me, this doesn't plug into my radio.
Right. I think the valves are worn.
Yeah. Where are the pedals again? Yeah, no, it took a few goes for us to get one. And the thing I remember first is Pac-Man. It seemed like it was the real deal. I used to love playing that as a kid. And then you look now, and it's like, that's not even Pac-Man. That's like worse than a Spectrum clone of Pac-Man. It was a different maze. How do they get... that's the easiest thing to copy, surely, is... it's...
a few straight lines.
Yeah, this is how it works. No, we got that bit wrong. Oh, sorry, mate. The one bit we needed, the map.
Don't worry. No one will notice. It's fine.
Yeah, which I didn't because I was a kid. They must have been like, the adults won't have played in the arcades. They just want to play Pong, and the kids, they won't care anyway. They're too young to know.
Don't worry. It's all just flashing lights. They'll love it.
And attitude has carried on till this day. And
exactly.
Now we have Skylanders.
Hey.
We put a light in the USB thing. Everyone will love that.
It glows up. Wicked.
It's only 750 quid to get the whole game. It's like them magazines, isn't it? Like collect a tank. One week you get like a wheel. Sorry, not a wheel. A part of a wheel.
Only 250 issues for £10 each. Fantastic.
Starting next week, Tank Painting Magazine. But we just built it. Yeah, now you need to paint it, innit? Get on.
So you had a 2600. I had a 2600. That was our formative first impression of gaming.
I didn't realise ET was shit then. That's how young I was.
It was moving. You didn't care. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So
it had the music. It was all right. So I was happy.
So what did you have after the 2600 then, mate?
After the 2600, I must have been about 6, and we were at school, and the Spectrum had just been released, and Clive Sinclair, for all his faults, he said the thing that sold the most amount of Spectrums. He said, we don't want it to be a games machine. And as soon as he said that, schools were like recommending it to parents, like, oh yeah, this will help them with their homework. Sir Clive Sinclair isn't going to make it a games machine. He's Sir Clive Sinclair,
I remember saying the immortal lines, I need this for school. So I think we've all said it at one point in our lives.
It must have sold so many systems since.
But
Mum, the PS3, it takes a USB keyboard. I can use it for school. No, mate, Uncharted is about history, isn't it?
I'm learning all about, the Armada and that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Assassin's Creed, the amount of sales that must get from...
Well, Assassin's Creed, you saw these kind of, all these kids sort of wandering around like, oh, yes, the Impressionists in the 1800s. Oh.
And Leonardo da Vinci, though, he really, really helped this guy, sort out the Illuminati.
Right, so which Spectrum did you have then? Did you have a...
We started off with a Spectrum 48K, the old rubber key jobby.
So
that was the only one. Well, not the only one. There was the ZX81, 1K, and the 16K. So we were third generation Spectrum.
So I had what was it? I had my cousins had the ZX81. I had another cousin who had the rubber keypad ZX Spectrum.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting, and this is where my dad comes in. That's where that little story comes in. My dad goes, I'll tell you what, boy. You don't want one of these Spectrums with a rubber keyboard. It looks like a bloody calculator. Disk drives. That's the future. Everything's coming on floppy disks these days. I'm going to get you a Spectrum Plus 3. It's got a bloody disk drive. It's the future. And I was like, oh, it's got discs. Wicked. And was overjoyed, and then got it home, and then after having it for 3 months, realising that hardly anything was being put out on discs, and everything was tape based, and I
And for some reason, the same computer, they made it incompatible with loads of the older games.
You couldn't play games.
It's like, yeah, but the insides are the same. It's just a disk drive. Why is it incompatible?
I know, it's mental. And it was just like, I just lusted after one of my other cousins, because I've got a big family. One of my other cousins had a +2, and it had the built-in tape drive. And I was like, oh, God, I wish I had this. So I ended up, and this is like where I got into my techie side very early, was I ended up using a workaround where I had my dad's hi-fi with a splitter cable plugged into the back of my +3 so that I could run the tape deck off the hi-fi into the +3 to make tapes work. It was mental. It was like this. It looked like something out of Weird Science, all like wires and shit everywhere. And I was having to run like a power cable from one side of the room, and then a TV with the +3 at another point of the room, and then another long cable running over to the hi-fi in another part of the room. And it was so unwieldy and ridiculous. It was just like looking back.
So you basically started anonymous.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
But but I loved that. That was where I really kind of actually started loving games properly for the first time. And I had like Treasure Island Dizzy and Renegade, and I used to love the Waggle games. I still love the Waggle games, like summer games and winter games, and
Daily
really bad conversions.
Daily
Thompson's
brilliant.
Decathlon and by Ocean, and it was
bad versions. No, they crapped on the actual track and fields back then.
Commodore 64 ones were always the better versions of the games.
Well, Commodore 64 had enough colours to be able to do Daley Thompson, so he wasn't white.
Racist.
Hardly. Well, the Spectrum might have been, but we're not. We're saying no. The Commodore 64 was the correct way to play Daley Thompson.
So what games did you have, like, when you were back in the Spectrum days? What sort of stands out in your brain as being ones that you used to play non-stop?
Renegade, as you say, that was an absolute classic. And I've heard you say elsewhere that you said it was a rip-off of Double Dragon.
Yeah. I've since obviously found out that it was actually a precursor to Double Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the prequel almost.
Yeah, sort of.
But Renegade on the Spectrum was fantastic.
Yeah.
Until you learned that jump kick could get you through the whole thing as long as you timed it just about right.
Exactly.
You could just Those motorbikes though on level 2. Try to time the fly kick.
Yeah, jump over the handlebars, smash the guy in the face. That's what you want at 7 years old.
Do you remember the big woman with the afro?
I don't.
With a blonde afro. Oh, there was a woman in it with a whip and a blonde afro.
Oh, right. So like sort of a bit of an early.
Bit like Double Dragon, where you got the whipping woman.
Was it Double Dragon, or was there one in Streets of Rage as well?
I think they've all got whipping women since, but I think Renegade was the first one.
Fair enough.
But if you don't remember her, then it won't matter. But I always thought she's called Big Bertha, right? That's what we called her.
Fantastic.
But then I'm thinking, I remember that as the official name, but we could have just made that up at school.
That's the thing back in those days. You don't from region to region in the country, everyone would have their own little different names for stuff, or the different way of playing, or they're different. It's almost house rules.
You know that you're old if you remember when Sega was called Sega in the UK.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Sega Master System. And they try and pretend they didn't do it now, but the old TV adverts, they used to say Sega. And then Sonic come along, and all the people in their marketing team must have been like, oh shit, we've got our company's name wrong for all these years.
So did you ever, what was your first, did you have a Sega system?
Yeah, I think I'm the only person that got a Master System on launch day.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd been hyped up in all the magazines by, say, Tony Takushi on CVG, like in all the import columns. And then somehow I found out that it was coming out like a day or two before my birthday. And the launch was being handled by Virgin Mastertronic. Right. So I thought, well, my dad thought. He was the one doing the thinking, I suppose, because I was like
I went
10.
out my wads of cash as a 9-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Daddy, I'm going out to buy a Master System. Drive me.
What is this system of which you speak? So we went up to London to Virgin Megastore, thinking, well, if they've got a Virgin product, they're going to be the place to have it first. Walked into the games section. The guy's like, what console's that? Where? Sega Master System, never heard of it. We got these Nintendos. And it's like, but no, you're the company releasing it. Can you ring head office? Yeah, you're the distributor even. Like, your everything. It's your console, and you know nothing about it. So they said, like, come back in a few hours. Went back and got one, but I think as the company launching it didn't know it was being launched, it's probably the first one in the UK.
See, again, another claim that only a child would make. Well, they didn't even have one in the shop, so that must have been the first one in the country. Not like, you know, the distributor that brought it in maybe took one home to his kids or anything like that. No. The first one in the shop that I got was the first one in the country.
The first one sold.
Yeah,
all right, I'll come back on that.
Yeah, no, because my cousin's been to America, right? And they've got a Nintendo and Sega system that all rolls into one, and it plays Mario Sonic.
So, all I remember about the Master System is all the Sega... For some reason, all the Sega consoles and all the Nintendo consoles were bought for my sister.
Yeah.
Right? It's really weird. She got the consoles, and I got the computers. Right? It was a really weird boy-girl... It was like there was a boy-girl thing. Like,
well, it's not that weird, because like a controller with A and B is obviously 13 times simpler than one that's got A, B to Z. So I can see your dad's thinking.
Fair enough. And I'm not going to go there with the women's rights thing. That's fine. I'm going to leave that.
All right.
I'm not going to go there. All right?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that maybe that's the way your dad looked at it.
Quite possibly.
Like, yeah,
quite possibly.
Chaz,
he's a boy. He can take an entire keyboard. She's only a woman. She doesn't want to fill her pretty little head with all these keys and buttons. What she wants, all she needs is left, right, up, down, A and B. That'll sort her right out.
And then when he got round to getting to the NES, he was like, I think you can manage a select button now.
So anyway.
You've got used to A, B and start, love. Here's a select.
So...
See what you can do with that.
Anyway, so my sister ended up having bought for her for Christmas a Master System.
Yeah.
And she had Alex Kidd, and she was obsessed with the Snail Maze, which is where you didn't put the little cartridge in, and you just turned it on, and you got a maze game built into the actual machine.
Yeah, you had to press both buttons and like left or up.
And she was obsessed with that for some reason. It was shit, but she was obsessed with it. And then.
Well, as shit as any maze can be, it's just a maze, isn't it?
I remember having that amazing Sega light gun, the Light Phaser, which is look. I looked it up because I knew I was going to be talking about Master System stuff. I looked it up, and it still looks really, really nice now. It's like I really, really love it. But
it looks like it could be in like the Wipeout games or something. It's like angular and sleek.
No, it's really sweet. I really like. Yeah, I absolutely loved that, and I can't remember for the life of me what game you played on it. But I remember like sort of running, like tucking it into my pocket, the wire, and then running around the house with the actual gun, like pretending to shoot stuff, and like being a small boy playing.
As you were from Southend in Essex, did you make like a sawn-off version?
Oh, if I'd have done that, I'd have probably got the kicking of a lifetime. Cut it in half with a...
But you might have won
Dad,
every
can I
game
borrow
on
your
the screen.
hacksaw? What do you want it for? I just want to cut this really expensive Sega Light Phaser up and make it a sawn off. You're having a laugh, son. Bosh.
Oh, he might have thought, oh yeah, that's my boy making a sawn off.
Possibly, I'm not going to say
But
anything.
yeah, that had the first 3D as well, didn't it? Well, not the first, Vectrex
Really?
had done it. And there were bad versions on Spectrum, like the red and green had been done. But the Master System had 3D glasses that worked the same as the ones now, where it shuts out the one eye.
Yeah, I remember those. I had a mate who had those, and they made me feel really sick. That's all I remember about.
Yeah, I think they were basically a headache.
Yeah. The shutters would just flicker on and off. Yeah. So,
but it still, to me, was magic.
yeah.
Like, wow, Space Harrier 3D, Outrun 3D.
But so then she then had the Master System, had the Mega Drive. And I would basically take that off of her. You know, I'd just go and sit in her room for hours on end and play like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker and Aladdin and like Desert Strike. I'd go and buy. This was weird. The
living rated. You're not allowed to play this.
I was. Well, you know, unfortunately, my mother wasn't too bothered about things like that. In fact, neither of my parents were, to be honest with you, because my dad took me to go and see Commando when I was a little kid.
Nice.
So, and it was in.
Did you have to like wear?
Well, no,
stilts?
what it was,
Like,
it was in
like,
the. It was.
You and your sister
It was
under
a really
coat?
weird thing of like, basically, if you demand that your kid wants to is like you don't mind your kids go and see it, you can take them in.
Yeah.
So I just went and sat and like messed about in the seat. No, not messed about because I was a lovely child and angelic.
I'd hope not. That's only to like sort of trick her.
I was an angelic child and I sat there quietly and didn't make a sound and didn't really look at the screen. I didn't really watch it. But yeah, all I remember was my dad giving an absolute earful to the woman behind the selling the tickets and then like going, yeah, we're going in. So
I know my rights.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm allowed to bring my son to see this Japanese film if I want to.
So anyway, I used to play. So what I used to do, I used to go out and buy Mega Drive cartridges, and then but play them on my sister's console in her room, which was really weird, I suppose. But
well, it's kinder than actually taking it into your room.
yeah. I mean, I was respectful enough not to just fuck off with it. You know, I'd leave it in her room hooked up because that was too much effort, and I didn't really need the earache. But yeah, just a really weird situation because like when she had that, the Master System and a Mega Drive, I had the Amiga. So, but obviously in that whole Sega Mega Drive Master System era,
yeah.
Like what were you playing?
The one that probably relates most to the modern era that people don't really know, but a real standout for me is Pugsy by Psygnosis or Psygnosis. It was a 2D platformer, but it had a fully working physics system. It was like, I've never really seen anything like that before, where you can like throw a candle at a bigger candle and it will catch fire. But then if the candle goes in water, it will go out.
Oh,
and
hey, special.
Exactly. It was a step further than I'd seen before. Do you know what I mean? Everything had like weight and mass, and wood burns, and water drowns.
So everything made sense. It didn't work in video game terms. It actually worked in real world terms.
Yeah, well, probably not exact real world physics.
Well,
but the fact they even tried was something that I hadn't really seen before.
All right.
And yeah, so that's my recommendation for if anyone wants to play an old game today that might actually have some relevance. Give Pugsy a go. It's a really sweet little game.
Cool. So anything else?
From that era, a lot of people say the best platformer is Sonic. I disagree. I'd go with Wiz and Liz.
Okay.
Like, Sonic's good, but going back to it now, the press right to win levels are nice, but the things like Labyrinth Zone,
yeah,
they could have been designed better. I'm not knocking them, but it wasn't the best. Like the shut up.
Looking back on it, it could have been a bit more finessed.
Yeah, although I suppose it was all about the challenge in them days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, Wiz and Liz is a beautiful little platformer. It's strangely the sister game to that Pugsy that I just recommended.
Okay.
But and they're both British games, and they both reference each other. But it's kind of got the Sonic feel, but a bit more open world. Like the levels double back on themselves.
Yeah.
But there's around 50 mini games included.
Oh, bloody hell!
It's just a massive.
That's packed in.
Isn't it? Yeah. Like there's the system where you can mix to get to new levels. You have to pick fruit in a cauldron that you picked up on the previous level.
Right.
So you get, say, like an apple and an orange, and you'll get to the snow level. But then, if you mix up ones that you've already used for opening the normal game stuff, you get, say, a sound test, or a playable colour test, or a little version of Space Invaders, or like Pong, or Breakout. It's just full of
crazy
all this other stuff.
Just packed with all these little games.
Yeah, and like I know not a lot of games, but plenty of games do that nowadays. And to go back and play one that was just thought, yeah, we can do that. When development time must have been so tight, and it's made by like 2 or 3 guys.
Well, it's either that, or you've got a lot of people just putting in their own ideas from their lunch breaks.
Very possibly, yeah.
More than likely.
Yeah, that could work. But yeah, it's by the guys who did MSR.
All right.
And Fur Fighters and Project Gotham.
Oh, right, okay.
It's their first game.
Nice.
I think maybe second, but yeah, it's one of the really early games. So funny what they would do.
Dropping a bit of knowledge there, mate.
Yeah, vaguely, yeah.
Because that's just gone straight out of my head.
Well, Wikipedia Bizarre Creations, no, but I knew it kind of back then.
All right,
who they were. It's they've always been a decent team. They did like
Yeah, so what I remember is Psygnosis from the... If you say Psygnosis to me, I say Lemmings and Shadow of the Beast from the Amiga. That's what pops into my head.
It's that metallic sort of style.
Yeah, the metallic owl weird logo that they had. Yeah, that's what always pops in my head. But so talking about the Amiga, did you have one?
I didn't, no, but I used to go to a computer club where people did, so I know a lot about it.
Oh, okay, cool. That's all right then. Cool. Thought he was going to leave me hanging then.
No, don't you go.
So yeah, basically, this is something that popped into my head because I thought, I'm going to talk about the Amiga.
Yeah.
And then it popped into my head. Do you remember when there weren't game shops? You know, there wasn't a game and there wasn't a game station. Hello, I'm an old man. I remember when this was all fields, you know.
There weren't even an electronic boutique.
Exactly. No, I know I'm going to sound like an old man, but I remember going to buy my Amiga in, you know, those bizarre kind of style indoor markets.
Where you get like a tattooist next to a florist, next to a guy that just sells bacon out of a fridge. Yeah.
Really weird, bizarre shops all next to each other. And this was a unit in a market that was next to a unit that sold skateboards and a joke shop. It was just like, it's just that, like, you're looking back at it, it's a bizarre situation. It's just some guy who's set up, gone, computers are the future. I'm going to make myself a game shop, you know, and like, yeah, he's opened this game shop, and it was like, I remember it being top shelf, hidden away behind the counter, and the guy had to get a step ladder to get it down. This massive box, like bigger than anything box I'd ever seen before. And I got it for my birthday.
Yeah.
And sort of rushed out, sort of annoyed my dad all the way home from Basildon, like, Dad, go, I want to play it. And he sat there and diligently kind of hooked it all up and got me running. And that was the computer that really I got into gaming with my friends.
Yeah.
Not advocating piracy, but like you would back in the day swap discs and
or even the PD demos people used to swap.
Yeah, totally.
Where you get like a clone of like 40 different games on one disc.
Oh yeah.
But and then a bit of techno, and then that bumwipe demo, and.
But yeah, and I sort of got really into football games like Kick-Off and Kick-Off 2 and like Lemmings, and there were some amazing games like back in like 1991 that was just like everything. It just seemed like every game that came out was like, it's not like now where everything's either a first-person shooter, a third-person action game, or a puzzler, or a combination thereof. Like, it just seemed like everything that came out was completely different to the next game. You'd have Civilization, but you'd also have Cannon Fodder, you know, which is like a top-down, mouse-controlled sort of isometric shooter, and then you had like Sensible Soccer and Shadow of the Beast and like Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge.
It's almost like genre reinvention, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just like
another world. Where did that come from?
Yeah, and it was just like just so many new experiences popping up all over the place. I used to I at that stage was the kid who, you know, in his darkened room with the big glowing monitor, kind of away playing his games. You know, I used to love it. But I used to play a lot of games in those days with my mates. Like, they used to come round after school and we'd all play, like, say, Sensible Soccer, or the one we really got into was Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So this is as close as you can get to a sim 3D racing game at the time.
Yeah.
Right. But it had this amazing mode, right, where it had hot seat mode. So you would all pick a car. You would all then individually qualify.
Yeah.
And then it would go into hot seat mode. So one person would start the race, and then after an allotted amount of time, it would give you a countdown, and the person who was next up had to jump into the seat, grab the joystick, and it was going to jump to their car. And wherever they qualified in the race, like basically the car had been taken over by an AI. And so you'd race 6 laps each. Yeah. So after 6 laps, your countdown would come down. You'd swap into the seat, and then you'd probably be in 8th place. And then you've got 6 laps to see if you can get from 8th to 4th. or however quickly you can get up to as close to first as you could. And then then the countdown would come on again, and it would go back into, and then you'd have to jump out and the next person jump in.
Does it go from like the last player back to the first again?
Yeah, and it just kept...
Like ghost mode?
Yeah, and it would continually roll until the race finished. And it was like this really good way of getting like multiplayer that we like take for granted now on Xbox Live of like, you know, your Forzas where you can have 12 people all racing at once.
Yeah.
But this was 12 people all racing at once occasionally. It was a really, really weird mode, but we got really into it. And we
sounds really smart.
Yeah, it was really, really good, because you'd get into your seat and you do your 6 laps and you go, oh my God, I've gone from 5th to 2nd. And then you jump out, but then when you came back to your car, it might have like dropped back at like 3 places.
Yeah.
You know, because the AI driver wasn't driving the same way that you did.
And also, because your mates had taken over and might have done better than you did.
Yeah, totally.
In the previous bit.
Totally.
Oh,
So,
fantastic.
yeah, it was a really, really weird mode, but really like I said, we really got into it. But other things I remember from the Amiga was Electronic Arts, because this is the thing I still can't get out of my head, right?
Yeah.
EA, the first time I'd heard about EA was Dulux Paint on the Amiga, right? It was a paint package. Electronic Arts was a paint package, right? Dulux Paint, that's all they did, right? And I remember using it, and now they make Mass Effect 3. And I still, even now, sometimes can't get my head out of the fact that they are a paint package manufacturer, not a big AAA blockbuster woohoo games developer.
Yeah,
you know.
That's quite crazy.
Yeah, it's mad. You know. So
The
it's
thing
like,
I remember most about Deluxe Paint is that whenever you walk past a computer shop, there was a picture of like that Tutankhamun in the window.
yeah, Tutankhamun, that was it.
It was like, look, this can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
A 2D picture of a Tutankhamun mask.
But what else?
But yeah,
What else?
I'd forgotten that was EA.
Yeah, man, that was EA, and that's like, you know, that's always stuck with me.
Well.
But what else as well? Yeah, this is the first time I ever got into a developer.
Yeah.
You know, people like nowadays are into Valve and they'll buy or Blizzard. You know, they'll buy everything. With
Or
me,
they used to be in the BioWare.
yeah, with me, the Bitmap Brothers. Whatever the Bitmap Brothers made, I would not even read about it in a magazine. I would just go out and buy it. It was that there was something about their design style that really, really resonated with me, and I loved it. It was so slick and so tight and slightly futuristic. Like they did like Speedball, and that was like really futuristic, and it was all metal and rivets and kind
Ice
of
cream.
exactly, lovely little touches like that. And then, but then you had like Chaos Engine, which was like a weird steampunk. Still kept the kind of shiny metal motif going.
They were
but
good
it was,
at making metal.
but just every game they ever made was just amazing. You know,
The
like,
soundtrack to Xenon 2. I remember having like,
Yeah,
I put that on a cassette. I went
Bomb
to my
the
mate
Bass.
and recorded it from his Amiga onto a cassette so I could listen to it.
yeah, Xenon 2 Mega Blast. That was.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah. That I'd love to. I went back and looked at it on YouTube a few days ago, and that music is still like, even now I just think, you know, it's like one of the first times I'd ever heard a proper band actually put music into a computer game.
Yeah.
Just makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. Just takes me straight back there, man. It's like wicked.
The sound on the Amiga, that's one of the things that really carried it. Like the ST was technically better for sound.
Oh yeah.
But the Amiga could pull out some amazing sort of, at the time, acid house or like whatever people called it.
Yeah, I mean, people are still using STs to like produce tunes and stuff, but like,
Aren't they? Only for the MIDI, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think that is where we should leave it, because there's so much more from more of a not next generation. What's the probably better from the PlayStation?
Do you remember PlayStation was next gen?
Yeah, exactly.
How exciting was that?
Exactly.
It does 3D graphics.
People would be listening to this going, PlayStation 1, next generation. But yeah, no, I mean, PlayStation 1. Tell you what,
we'll call that the next gen for now.
Yeah, let's call it. Let's go and do the next gen next week, and not bore everyone too much, eh?
Yeah.
Cool. So
Sounds like a plan. So have we got any emails this week?
we have literally 0 emails.
Oh,
We put the
man.
call out, and they did not come.
Didn't we just?
But we do have, from the lovely, lovely Fordy, one Twitter message.
Oh, bless him.
He's a lovely fella, isn't he? So,
Any.
let's look.
So
that
what's
up.
he said?
So he has basically said, "Hi, I'm Fordy. I was wondering where you managed to find two sexy motherfuckers for the show. Incredible, really. So
Thanks, man.
so where did we find these two incredibly sexy motherfuckers?
We found them at a meet for another podcast.
Yes, mate.
Last year at Eurogame.
Shall we give them a shout out?
Yeah, let's. Well, we met at the Joypod pub meet
Yep.
on the Friday night of Eurogamer.
The lovely David Turners and Michael Fox, and I think Sean was there for a little bit.
He was, yeah, before he went on to Rock Paper Shotguns party.
Yeah.
Splitter.
So yeah, I turned up to, basically what happened was, randomly heard about this Joypod meet on Twitter. I thought, that's only round the corner from where I work. I'll tell you what, I'll pop down there and say hello. Got to the pub and then realised I didn't know anybody. So I went to the bar, all a bit nervous, trying to look for the people who look most geeky in the world. And,
Oh, yeah, cheers, mate.
yeah, found you, mate. Found you in the corner, said, are you here for the Joypod, mate? And you were nice enough to kind of have a chat with me, and we got chatting to Michael, and that was it, really. And then...
We both realised we're both cynical old ethics bastards.
yeah, so we ended up getting
we'll come
chatting on Twitter, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So that is where we found the sexiest Mother Hubbards in the world.
Yeah,
But-
nice way of putting it.
So yeah, I mean, Fordy, thank you very much for you are literally our number one fan, because you're the only person who has followed us on the AO Bots on Twitter. So you are literally our number one fan.
Day one.
Before day one. So
Yeah.
cheers, man, for that. And hopefully, in the coming weeks, when people listen to this, they'll be firing questions into the AI Bots Twitter feed at the AI Bots.
Yeah. And like I say, you don't want it to get to say like 2025, and your grandchild says,
Daddy, when did you first have your message read out on the AI Bots podcast?
Exactly.
and you
just don't
your
want
dad, like your children, whatever. You don't want to be able to say to them, "Oh, it was about episode 11."
Yeah,
do you? You want to get in there and say, "Yeah, right from the start."
You
So-
don't want that embarrassment in your life, really, do you?
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Fordy's the only person that's saved that so far. So for episode 2, there's still time for you to get in there.
Get involved.
Mm.
So so if you do want to get involved, you can send your questions to us on Twitter at the AI Bots, or to our email address at email@theibots.com.
Or you can email either one of us. That's at Chazzee, CHAZZEE_UK. Gotta love your underscores.
Yes, mate.
Or me, that's at Mealtime Strategy. Like the word strategy, but without a Y on the end.
So do you want to know why I've got _UK on the back end of my Twitter handle?
Is that like a part of your official name?
No. What it is basically there was already a Chazzee
Yeah.
randomly on Twitter, and he's in the States. So I thought, right, well, if he's in the States, he can be American Chazzee, and I'll be Chazzee from the UK.
That kind of makes sense, but it still doesn't explain the underscore, does
Well,
it? Why can't
'cause you can't
I suppose Chazyuk.
Yeah, you can't do spaces.
There'd be some guy somewhere in Eastern Europe going, Chazyuk is on
Chazyuk.
Twitter now.
Oh, yes.
I've been looking for him for a long time.
Young time, yes. Racist.
Oh, so not. It's racist you saying that.
Probably.
You the bad man.
I'm the
bad.
one with the bad mind. All right, fair enough. Fair enough, I'll give you that. Right, so now we've put out the call. Now we've bored everyone with what we've been playing and with
Our gaming history.
our gaming history. Should we get out of here?
Let's.
Right.
I reckon so. Although, can I just do one shout
Go
out?
on, mate.
Just because I think it's only fair to the guy that we've used his intro music. If anyone wants to listen to some of his tunes, go to mizukisLastChance.bandcamp.com. I just think it's only fair to give him a shout out because he's putting stuff out there and it's really good music.
Cool. Right, let's bail.
Other than that, see you next week,
See you
man.
next week, mate.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.